Well, I can hear you. I hope the audience can hear you too.
I hope so too. Okay, my name is not an issue, how it's pronounced, don't worry. Yes, I'm a mother, wife, and a believer and a leader. I particularly love working in rural areas. As a social innovator, I enjoy looking at the possibilities of creating sustainable jobs and wealth creation because I'm passionate about the potential and future of SMEs, cooperatives, and cottage industries, especially in value addition of agricultural goods and in the manufacturing sector of fast-moving consumer goods. And I'm happy to be in this forum for today because I believe that trade is very crucial in the development of Africa as we look at more of the opportunities and move away from a continent that is always branded as one which is having problems and has to be so highly dependent. I believe we have so much untapped opportunities, especially in the rural agri communities that really make the bigger part of Africa. Yeah, we'll get to know each other and discuss more along the line. Thank you. To what extent are the grassroots communities and cottage industries benefiting from global trade transactions? I believe in the long run, they will actually benefit. But right now we have to be like Mango Development, we're trying to be intentional in helping at the grassroots, at the communities, so that they can even grasp this concept of trade beyond the little trade that that is happening. You know, it's been like the goods which are produced, production is really low. So we are trying to intentionally foster participation at the grassroots in the uptakes in innovations and new technologies, which eventually will propel the productivity in the cottage industries. Okay, some ways in which cottage industries in regions can adapt and standardize the production of some products. Because when I take an example of some of the products which we are producing, because we are not using big machines, it's really in the rural areas. And even though we have the market, good market for some of our products, it's still a challenge to be able to get that we get a big group of people or a pool of people in this area producing products which are similar, so that we can have a brand out there. Because right now, and also looking at many other people in those areas, the things which they are producing, even if some of them are really good quality, high quality, but we do not have these economies of scale. So in order to benefit in the long run from these trade transactions, I think we will have to step up on the production levels.
If I can bring you in there, Rachel, now when we talk about capacitation, how can trade organizations capacitate communities at grassroots levels to benefit from the potential presented by global trade?
Yeah, thank you. And I'll pick up from where my brother has spoken and said there's a fundamental problem in how people approach some of this paperwork and just being ready for funding. And this is where I find that non-governmental organizations can bring complementary skills, knowledge, and commitment to trade development projects. Yeah, instead of focusing on the things which they have been for a long time, you know, in giving people the fish. I think like now with this potential in trade and knowing that we need a mindset shift in Africa, in our approach to businesses, that some of the opportunities we miss out because of how we do the things. Because even I just returned from Kenya the other day, back to Norway, and I was looking at a lot of areas, and I saw actually there's also a lot of funding available for women businesses. Yeah, there are some products intentionally being made to make it easier for women to access loans for their businesses, but they miss out because of really basic things. Or now a good program from the German government together with with 9 other countries, which is called the We Do Project, which I was looking at, and I'm part of here from the Norwegian side. And there's this money that is available for small businesses to actually do something to, if they're creating wealth and if they're sustainable, they're eligible. And because you have to start also from there and grow. And I saw people have really good ideas when I told them, when I was teaching them on sustainability, I really got a lot of innovative ideas. But there was nobody funding for us to do the capacity building for these people in order to really be able to structureize in a way that they will attract funding. We had to do it out of goodwill. So you see, that remains in a very small scale. So if non-governmental organizations, which have been doing a lot of work in, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, in towards achieving the SDGs, if they would just simply strategize a little bit more so that we have more skills and knowledge transfer towards helping communities to learn more trade ways of facilitating the trade. Also, trade organizations must aim more at harnessing the prosperity that trade can foster to create societies that benefit everyone. Also, bodies like chambers of commerce, yeah, they can be useful because those ones that are really at grassroots level and also international level. So if we could have these conversations really more across, and also getting other stakeholders across the board, because now what we see most of the time, like when we are talking on business, it is mostly the business community, but with these times of climate change, a lot of things stretch across the board. So we need to start fostering more horizontal conversations across the board, and which will enable us to find ways of building the capacity. Thank you.
I was actually going to ask you, Rachel, that are there open lines of communication between these grassroots levels and these chambers of commerce or with these trade organizations? Because what is not communicated is not known. So are there open channels of communication for such elements to be brought up and addressed?
Yeah, okay. It depends. I think it varies from country to country, but I saw, like in Kenya, the Chamber of Commerce is active really at the ground level up to the village. So I was impressed. And they also, together with one of the banks, curated a nice product for women. It's called She Business Her Empowered by this ABSA Bank, which is South African, and with the Chamber of Commerce, the local one down there, and really brought a lot of people on board. That was barely last week. So I think these channels of communication are opening, and they're important because eventually we will be in rural communities more prepared to participate in the Africa continental trade, and eventually also participate more in a bigger scale in the global trade. I think I'll just echo what Anna has said, that we just need to put our house in order, hang out in the right places. Let's not underestimate the value of these networking events and knowledge exchange. And being very much in the rural spaces, where that is where my heartbeat is to say, you know, those are agri communities. So I feel like it's time that our governments really facilitated diversification of its agricultural products so that we can add value to our primary commodities, because for a long time trade has been with just commodities. We need to start preparing the goods, producing economic goods. This brings another area that I'm passionate about, which is the diaspora. Yeah, we need to utilize, we need to foster engagements with diaspora, because they play a very key role even in how Africa is branded to the world. For example, we have had our brand, our poster child for Africa is what the NGOs branded us. I have nothing against them, but it is this picture of poverty that was posted to the world. So in one hand, we want to beg money with poverty and show this poor child who is suffering, who is full of mucus. And on the other hand, we are saying we want to produce consumption goods that go out to the world. Yeah. So we really have to decide what is Africa about. If we are taking the image of trading and you want to export consumable goods, then we have to start rectifying this image, this false image, and bringing the real image of Africa outside there and branding Africa in a new way. And that we can only do, first of all, as we, the African children. Thank you. Sure.